Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the video. In this video, we has a spoiler review of Peacemaker episode 4. But yeah, this week we're on episode 4 and I'll be talking all things spoilers, going through my favorite moments and plot points for the episode. So if you haven't already seen the episode, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video so you can come back later to check this video out. Again, spoilers in this video, so you've been warned. So starting it off in this episode, I wanted to talk about one of my favorite moments in the entire DCEU, which was Peacemaker basically trash talking Batman with his dad's neighbor. And the reason I like this so much, I think it's just hilarious, is because this is everything that my Twitter timeline is all day about the Batman, talking about, oh, should he kill, should he not kill, what does killing do for the character, isn't it more logistically better if Batman kills, but story-wise it's better if he doesn't kill. There's just so much debate, and this episode literally had my Twitter timeline in it as dialogue, and I loved it so much. But that's basically all that I wanted to talk about that. But next up, I wanted to talk about Leota's character killing, because I thought this was a great arc through the entirety of this episode, just because Leota is just another side character, but they gave her such a different arc with that we actually like care for her. And obviously, you know, all the characters we do care about to a certain extent, but this actually just gave us a whole storyline to I guess connect with the character on. It's like she's never killed someone before, but everyone else on the team has, so it separates her first of all, but it also adds a lot more room for her to grow. And by the end of the episode, obviously she killed someone. Well, technically she didn't kill Judo Master, she just shot him and he's still on an IV, so technically he's not dead, but she shot someone for the first time and almost killed someone for the first time. So I would say those are practically hand in hand when it comes to a story arc, so I really like what they did there. And next up, obviously like I mentioned before, was Judo Master. The fight between Judo Master and the dude with the beard, forgot his name, but that fight was pretty funny where he just kicked him into the wall. That was freaking hilarious. I also love what they're doing with Judo Master, because again, he's just another little side character. I think he's in all of the rest of the episodes, which is really cool to see because his character is just hilarious. And I'll mention this a little bit later, but we did get a Judo Master versus Peacemaker fight, and it was just so well choreographed. It was so much fun. And again, I'll talk about that right after I do go over this next part, which is Peacemaker and his dad talking in the prison. I just think that the way they're executing Peacemaker's backstory to lead in with his current day life is some of the best storytelling in the entire DCU, some of the best storytelling in DC in general, and it's just so well done. The way that they flash back to Peacemaker's past at the perfect moments, for example at the very end of the episode, which again I'll talk more in depth later, but the way they flash back at the end of the episode to certain moments that they already mentioned earlier in the episode but we didn't get to see just then because it would have broken up the pacing of the story, is just so well done. And I think everything is just so perfectly timed with the backstory of Peacemaker that you don't need like one specific episode to be like, okay, this is everything that happened in the past leading up to the very end, the end finale. There's no reason to wait until the very end to give a full backstory. They're doing it perfectly in the perfect amount of time right now, just in the beginning. But now obviously we're going to talk about Judo Master versus Peacemaker. This fight was just so well done. It's funny and also feels like a regular fight. I will say there's a few kicks and punches in this show where it feels weird because it's edited around, in my opinion. Like they edit right on the kick, and obviously I know you're supposed to edit on action to add more impact, but it just feels weird. It doesn't feel like anything is fluid. But this fight did it very differently. It had great camera work in terms of whipping over from one thing to another instead of just doing hard cuts, and it actually kept everything flowing really well. And that's what I'll say about this episode. This was a 50-minute episode and everything flowed perfectly compared to the first 3 episodes. There's not one moment in this episode where I was checking the times like, okay, how much time is left? Like I genuinely cannot tell how much time is left. Like I was just enjoying what I was watching because it flowed so well. Everything went from one scene to another, one location to another really well. But I want to talk about Vigilante in this episode. Now, Vigilante is one of my favorite parts of the entire show. It's probably my second favorite part after Peacemaker. Vigilante is so good in this episode. We see him basically confront Peacemaker about letting him get his toe cut off, or his pinky toe half cut off, and then he kind of has a little bit of a semi-redemption arc, if I must say so myself. It feels like obviously Leota puts the idea into his head to go into the prison and kill Peacemaker's dad. She doesn't like tell him to go do it, but she plants the idea in his mind. He goes into the prison. He basically instigates a fight between Peacemaker's dad's 3 friends. He basically knocks all of them out, and then Peacemaker's dad won't fight him because he knows that if he instigates the fight, then he'll get in trouble. But after Vigilante fights the three friends of Peacemaker's dad says he needs to talk to the detective, and he's gonna basically rat out everything that Peacemaker said earlier. And I think her name is Halcroft or something like that. The blonde chick. She basically bails Vigilante out of jail at the end, and Vigilante understands that he screwed up and that like he did some stuff wrong, and it's gonna all come to fruition in the next episode, which I can't wait for. But now we get to one of my other favorite parts of the episode, which is seeing Peacemaker's backstory, his first kill, as well as his brother's death. I already talked about this a little bit before, but I just really love what they're doing with the backstory side of this show, and it's a really good way to set up a character and actually give him more context as he's actually fulfilling future missions to still look back on his past at important moments that shape him to who he is today, instead of having just full flashback moments. It's just more sporadic montages laid throughout the episode, and in this episode it was mostly towards the end, which I really did enjoy. But the final thing I want to talk about is the massive reveal at the end of this episode, where we find out that Myrn is actually a butterfly, because at the end of the episode, Leota says, "Myrn, I found something," and he's like, "Okay, I'm coming over," and then he basically eats out of a bowl and his tongue comes out like a butterfly, and it's insane. I can't wait to see what they do with it. I think there can be so many twists and turns within this show, just because it's has the secret identity of a butterfly, and you can't really tell unless you actually see them be a butterfly. And Myrn has already gotten all of these characters' trust, and so it's going to be really easy for him to do just whatever the hell he wants. But that's all my thoughts on Peacemaker episode 4. Let me know what you guys thought of Peacemaker episode 4 in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.